All right, I think we did it all. Awesome. Welcome once again, guys. Excited to have you guys here. We've got a whole bunch of new kids joining us this year, which we're stoked about. We've got a bunch of returners. I think it's going to be a really awesome year. We've got some great staff that's returning, as well as getting some new guys in there too. Let's get rolling. Park City Snowboard Team. That's still us, has been us, will continue to be us as long as it can be. As I mentioned, we've got Rick Shimpano as our program director, Nick Popolowski, Pops, as our head coach, and myself as our associate director. We're the ones kind of steering the ship here, and we're excited for the new direction that we're taking things. We have a lot of experience behind the three of us. I think Shimp's been doing this, what, 20 some years, and you've got another 20?
Pretty close these days.
Yeah, so we got some skin in the game. Talk about our mission real quick. It's this really long and drawn out thing that I will read to you because that's what we're here for. Park City Ski and Snowboard inspires its members by maximizing individual athlete potential while maintaining academic standards and adhering to core values. Success is measured through pursuit of individual athletic character and social development, while demonstrating financial stability and a positive image of the community. That's a lot. Oh, I got a chat. What does that mean?
That's just me.
Oh, that's.
Don't worry about it. I got on to manage the chat.
Pops is managing the chat, so if you got chat questions, he's the one running that. That's a really long way of saying life improvement through snowboarding and skateboarding. That's a statement that Pops and I got from working at High Cascade. That's their quote unquote mission statement. At least it was back in the day, and that's something that he and I have both taken to and have really tried to put into what we deliver to our program here. Our philosophy and purpose, this was a Rick Shimpano-led initiative here to figure out exactly who we are, which is we are a community of community riding mountains. We practice, compete, support each other, and evolve. Through our programs, we strive to put snowboarding and our teammates in a better place. The snowboard community has given a lot to each and every one of us, and that's something that we try to instill and deliver to this next generation. This is a huge part of who we are and what we're trying to build. And with you guys being a part of it, I think that we can go even further. Want to run this one?
All right, more than a mission. First off, we hold risk management paramount. Keeping your kids safe is number one for all of us. Obviously, what we do is not inherently safe, which is why it's titled risk management. And yeah, we focus in staff training and all our policies and procedures to help kids progress in an environment where we really focus on managing risk. Up next, skill improvement. That's part of how we do it. As a program, our main focus with these riders, outside of having fun, building community, all the other stuff that we'll get to, is skill improvement, and that's what allows these riders to progress safely. Within that, it's a really step-by-step approach, making sure kids are learning all the right precursor tricks so that when they get to learning the bigger tricks, they have all the pieces in place and are ready to try those tricks in a safe environment.
So to add to that, we can always stack the blocks on top of one another. Eventually that tower is going to topple. Our philosophy is that we build a wide foundation and then we build from there, making sure we have all the blocks in the right place, making sure we have something to build and something to rely on underneath us before adding that next level, that next trick to the arsenal.
All right, up next, community. I think we've done a really good job in recent years of bringing people together and really creating a snowboard team community. That's something we'll look to continue through this season. And yeah, I mean, for a lot of these kids, they may at snowboard team be meeting their best friend for the rest of their life. I mean, I can attest personally from being on a snowboard team as a kid that if I look at my adult friends that are from the state of Vermont, there's one person that I know from high school, and then the other dozen are all people I met through snowboarding and the snowboard team.
We have a really strong community as well at competitions, which is great. We've got parents that show up with cowbells and streamers, and it's unlike anything that I have seen within snowboarding. So to have that and kind of put our name on that is great. So our community stands out, and we want to continue to make it grow and be as visible as possible. Our last kind of focus beyond being more than just our mission statement is lifelong participation. Once again, building from that wide foundation that we talked about and giving them the tools to not only be riding for the next 5 years, the next 10 years, but hopefully be riding into their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Like this isn't a short-term engagement. This is who Pops and myself identify as. And this is a huge part of what we think we can deliver to our athletes.
Okay, on hill focus. First little box, quality coaching. We build out our staff with our athletes in mind. We are committed to long-term athletic development, LATD, and work with our staff to ensure we have your child's needs in mind. I kind of touched upon this earlier, but yeah, it's more than just showing up and having little Jeffrey attempt a 360 on a Saturday in January. There's a lot of thoughtfulness and process that goes in to the product that your rider sees on hill. You want to take structured programming?
Yeah, structured programming. If you're new to us this year, this may be a completely shot in the dark, but if you've been here before, you saw that our program went through different restructuring this year compared to last and the year before that. We're really trying to figure out what is leading to that long-term athlete development. How are we pursuing that? How are we increasing kids' workloads within a training context? For a lot of you guys, we kind of had requests for certain programming options, and we made some concessions. And it's like, okay, this isn't ideally how we'd like to do things, but like to get you guys in the door and introduce you to who we are and what we think is a tested and proven theory, that we were like, cool, let's get you in the door. Let's have you get a taste of what this is like, then really start getting into gear next year as we kind of get you into our structured programming as it is designed.
Yeah, with that, just like with the quality coaching side of things, we put a lot of thought into how we've built out our pipeline and feel like it's really effective. Up next, within that, we've strived to create a supportive team environment and snowboarding in life. I mean, we've seen some amazing instances at training and competitions of young riders supporting each other. And yeah, for the riders who are on this call and for you parents, it's something we really need to encourage in these kids, whether they're just at a recreational level or a competitive level. That's how within this sport and life we grow and are able to be successful. One last corner of the slide on contest preparation. One thing for parents who have had riders in competition that they certainly know from how we do things, and for the new people, just kind of a little heads up. One thing we really focus on is run composition and the strategy of those runs. So something you'll notice if your rider's just getting in competition or has been doing it for a while is sometimes the big new trick that they come home super excited that they learned doesn't get immediately plugged into that run. And that's within trying to build good competitors. And something we've very much gotten from the US team is that as competitors in this sport, we're looking to be strong, consistent riders, as opposed to the kind of go for broke style that is really challenging competitively, given how big our country is, where there are just so many riders. It's really, really difficult to be successful with that mentality, which is why we kind of push the runs and strategies that we do.
Thanks, Pops. Into our program pipeline, like Pop said, we put a lot of time into building these. This is something that we've gone through a shift in this year in changing our names and changing our structure. And we're trying to develop a pipeline that, oh, we got a chat. Let's see what we got.
No, keep going. I can handle the chat.
Oh, Rick is feeling better. Love it. Glad to hear from you, bud. In this program pipeline, like we're looking at how do we create a program for our global team, which is our Grand Prix, World Cup, NORAM, and Rev Tour level riders. How can we build these riders not to be outsourced from other teams and pulling them in. Not that we have a problem with recruiting. We've actually pretty successful at that. But how do we get these homegrown kids to be like, cool, this is a program that can not only take them from an ASA event into futures, but futures into Rev and up that chain more and more. And as we go work through that pipeline, that's where that time dedication comes in. We had a lot of questions about the difference between fundamentals and regional. The primary basis that or difference between those is the fundamentals we look at. If you're riding with us between 1 and 3 days, you're going to be in a fundamentals group. That doesn't mean that just because it's listed as fundamentals, that that's where your skill set is. We've got riders in fundamentals that are doing 540s and 720s. Regional is just, we're getting into more of a full-time schedule, doing 2 days on the weekend, as well as 2 to 3 days in the evening at Woodward. Moving towards national and global, that's where we encourage an alternate school schedule, because we want to be training as much as we can. For that national team this year, we'll be riding during the week 10 to 4 at Woodward to help alleviate some of the strain from having close to 60 kids on hill at Woodward last year at Tuesday. That way, separating that group a little bit, still have some overlap in time. I know those guys are going to go out and ride beyond their training schedule, so that way we can integrate as a team a little bit more. And we have some riders that are actually splitting their time between national and regional, because that's what their school schedule allowed. So like I said, we've made some concessions this year in this program model, understanding that next year we're going to be going full blown, like pedal to the metal with how we have it designed. Anything you want to add about program?
Compared to our traditional build out, I think this, as we all get used to it, makes a lot more sense. And yeah, as the person who's in charge of the higher level programming in global team and overseeing a lot of national team stuff, I think this really sets riders up to be successful, whether it's just in a recreational sense, but also gives them the ability where if that switch flips and all of a sudden they decide they want to be more competitively focused, for us to have immediate support for them.
Cool, moving on. Team culture. Team culture is something that's been talked about a lot, not only within our division, but within our club. We actually had our staff sit down and start our staff training, talking about our team culture and what attributes go into that. Similarly, we had a group of athletes talk about this as well at our dryland practice. A big thing that jumped out to us was respect, health, and community. Each of those have several bullet points underneath that. I'll let you guys look at that if you want to. Community is one of the things that really jumped out to me. We talked about the history, we talked about heritage, we talked about how our differences don't alienate us away, but they add more to our similarities. How we are connected through this common thread, and how there's so much for us, so many different ways for us to learn about each other. Moving from culture, we have a zero tolerance policy that pertains to in-person and online bullying. If you need to get a better understanding of bullying, go to any comment section on any Instagram post just about ever, and you'll find something in there. This is something that we do take seriously. If you guys need me to provide a definition for this, I'm happy to send one out to you. But I think that we all have our kids and our athletes in mind. And I think putting their health and their well-being first is our first priority.
Concussion management. Again, like I said earlier, what we do is inherently not safe. So we're out here trying to mitigate risk as much as possible. And concussions are something that do happen. In the case of even a suspected concussion, the coach will remove the athlete from the competition or practice. You all as the parents will be informed either by Rick, our program director, or Sam, our executive director. Yeah, they'll let you know. And then along with that, we'll be sending you a packet of information for what your rider needs to do in terms of returning to sport. And that'll consist of medical evaluations and a few other forms. And yeah, the main idea with that is we obviously want to get kids back on snow as fast as possible, but only when cleared by medical professionals, because we need to keep these kids' brains in mind. We're finding out so much about concussions, and yeah, it's really important we take the proper steps.
Adding to that, like as we learn more and more about concussions and how brain development works, especially in younger athletes, like this is such a huge thing for us. Like we've seen concussions in our personal lives and professional lives, and we've seen people return and potentially ourselves have returned before we should have, and there are lasting effects. And if we can help these kids and these athletes to avoid going through those trials and tribulations, we're going to do everything we can to make sure that their health comes first. Now that we've talked about everything but snowboarding, we're going to actually get into some of this stuff. So you guys, this is really what you're here for. So
What's the deal with snowboarding?
Very Seinfeld, love it. So just a basic thing, like things that you guys should be bringing every day, whether you're at Woodward, whether you're at Park City Mountain, whether you're at a contest. These things are always great to have with you. Helmets are absolutely required, not only by our athletes, but also by our staff. We're trying to lead by example out here, making sure that we're using the same protective gear that we require our athletes to. Goggles and sunglasses. Getting sunburnt eyeballs is not a fun time. It itches worse than anything you can imagine, and you can't stop rubbing your eyes. Board and boots, that's pretty obvious. A backpack to keep all your things in. Things that you want to bring with you. Water. Let's try to stay away from energy drinks. I know that they're your kids, but it's us that has to deal with them with energy drinks. Please be mindful of that. They're already pretty stoked and amped up to be there as it is. A whole bunch of caffeine doesn't necessarily benefit them. Lunch and snacks. If you're at Park City, absolutely have a lunch. If you're at Woodward, if you're on the national team, definitely bring a lunch. If you're just doing our evening programming, bring some snacks, throw them in your pocket. We don't need to necessarily go inside to get a snack. Likely groups will take a break, get water, get snacks, that's fine. But just to have that in your bag, just as something to eat, so that way you're not spending a bunch of money on candy bars. Extra layers, always good to have. Gloves especially. If you know anything about kids and snow, they definitely want to play with it all the time, and their hands will get wet and cold. So if we can be prepared for that, that helps us make sure that we're going to have a successful day. Getting into some of the logistics at Park City here, we're going to go over the drop off and pickup process, late arrivals, lunch, a lost rider procedure, and some important dates coming up. Drop off. We're looking to have groups meet with their coaches at 8:45. We're going to talk about locations and all that in a little bit. Just to go over a timetable here, we're doing meet with our coaches at 8:45. That'll be on snow just downhill from the pig pen and the NAC at Park City Mountain Village. I've got some pictures coming up that will pinpoint that for you. Pickup, we're doing between 2:45 and 3:05. We try to be in as close to 3 o'clock as we can. We understand that when kids are late, parents tend to be pretty cautious and worried. We try to avoid that as much as we can. We're going to always try to communicate with our coaches and with our administrative staff that'll be at the bottom of the hill at the end of every Saturday and Sunday to make sure that we know what's going on, where everybody's at, and how we can work to get everybody home safe. This is a great time to catch up with your coach and your riders, see what they're working on, talk to them. A lot of us are doing this as a part-time gig, and they've got other things going on in their life. We've got some fantastic people on our staff, get to know them beyond just coaching. Our staff is something that we're super proud of, that makes a part of this community really engaging and really exciting. Getting into some visuals for drop off, we have some parking logistics to figure out this year. It's something that goes beyond a club level. It's not me, Pops, and Rick. It's not our executive director or PCSS. This is coming from the resort. This is something that if you've been paying attention, that you're probably well aware of, but if not, Park City is moving to a paid parking system. All of their lots are going to be paid parking, whether it's down here at Silver King or First Time, the preferred garage, or the main lot. Excuse me. Those are all going to be parking lots. If you're looking for a free option, you can park at the high school and catch a bus in from there. For those that are typically just dropping their riders off, that drop-off zone is currently slated to be at the top of the main lot over here. From there, riders are going to walk across the street, down past the bus loop here, up past the ice rink, which is right here, and then towards the NAC and the pig pen, which is right here. We're going to have a gear drop here. We're going to collect lunches, bags, all that, and we're going to store those off to the side. So that way kids don't need to worry about where they are until they're ready to come in for lunch. Once we do that gear drop, we're going to curl around the corner and we're going to be just uphill of the new construction site, which is where the new NAC building is going. If you've been with us before, we're literally moving 30 feet closer to the hill than what we were away from the building. If you are new to us, we've got a few videos and maps that went out in an email as well, and we're also going to poke around some of those here as well. Again, parking, just to continue, if you're parking in the main lot, let's approach it from here. If you're parking in first time, you can walk up this way. Like I said, there is a giant hole in construction site here. You might have to get creative with your route finding. I'm not sure how close that hole actually comes to this walkway here. As far as reservations go, you've gotten several links in your email. You have to have a reservation for every day that you plan on parking. There's no need to make a reservation if you're just dropping off. Parking is going to be $25 a car, unless you've got 4 or more passengers in your car. Like I mentioned before, alternate to parking on site here is to park at the high school and catch a bus there. Vail is making an effort to try to clear up this lot and clear up some of the congestion in town. They believe that charging for parking is somehow going to help that, but that's their belief. With that, they're using some of that money to provide more busing from the high school. There's going to be a bus schedule that runs from the high school direct route to the resort. There should be a new bus there every 10 minutes. Beyond that, carpooling. We talk about it, and I feel like every aspect of our life about climate change and emissions and everything else that we go through. This is a great opportunity to meet some people on team and build out a carpool. See if you guys can link up, not only if you're going to go ride the mountain and save on that parking, but let's help with the traffic congestion if we can. This is another different view of our meeting location. Give you guys a different angle on it. So up here would be that drop-off area. Here's our first time lot, our main lot. So you'll be driving up through this way to that drop-off location if you are dropping off. We think the easiest way to get to us is to walk across the street here, down along the sidewalk, up these stairs, and back into this little corner where we're going to meet you. From here, we'll do that bag drop, curl around the corner, and have all the rest of the coaching staff meet here to meet their groups. We're going to do that day 1. We're going to do that day 2. We're going to do that every Saturday and every Sunday. So it is going to be a orchestrated effort to make sure we get all the bags here, get kids to where they need to be. For day 1, we are planning to have our staff out there at 8:30 in the morning, just to make sure that we can get everybody organized, everybody sorted, and go through that. We've got some great feedback. We've got some great help from our parents and volunteers to help us do a better job at this every year as we grow more and more. There continues to be more opportunity for growth, not from a enrollment size now, but actually from performance side to see how we can organize this better. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we talk about our team night coming up at Woodward. Bag drop and meeting the groups. Like I said, just kind of got things written out here. Walking past the ice rink, we're on just about the same level on snow. You're going to see this PC Alpine sign. It's in a video that you were shared a link to earlier today, which will be on the mountain side of the ice rink. Just keep walking past that, past Jackson's base camp there. We'll just keep going straight towards the pig pen. We'll just be on the 2nd floor there, so you can see that sign. From there, we'll grab lunches and bags like we talked about, and we'll get them around the corner to their coaches. Arriving late and early departures. Communicate with us. Let us know. Sports Engine works great. That's something that we're going to check consistently. That's a good way to send a message to an entire group. There's individual messaging as well. With the accessibility of emails, I will also be checking my emails every Saturday and every Sunday too, just to make sure that we're getting everybody accounted for. If you or your rider are late, they're going to wait. We're going to have staff, likely it'll be Rick or Pops to start, depending on what their availability is in regards to contest schedules and everything else. Likely it'll be one of the two of them, where they will be waiting with your rider. We'll coordinate with their coach and see where we can find a meeting point, whether it's at the team room or whether it's at the bottom of Payday or Crescent. If they're on Three Kings, we might just send the kid down to Three Kings and link up with them there. Early pickup's great. Email, Sports Engine, call, text, anything. Just let us know. That way we know where we need to be. If you can organize that to be during lunch, that helps it be a little more seamless for us, where we don't need to worry about either sending a kid down from Bonanza area, let's say, down to the base of the resort without having any type of supervision. There's a lot that can happen between now and then. We sign off as being their guardians. We'd like to protect them as much as we can, and being sure that we have eyes on them is one of the ways that we do that. So organizing those pickups at lunch makes it super easy on us, and we appreciate anything that can make our day run as smooth as possible.
It's never too early for lunch. You made the fat guy say that, didn't you? Cool, how about it?
All right. I was gonna take a break
Making
there.
the fat guy talking about lunch.
Communicating. So we don't have a time window that we're looking at to do lunch. We'd like to go between 11 and 12:30. We tell our coaches to plan for a half an hour for lunch. Half an hour easily turns into 45 minutes. We absolutely don't want it to be any longer than that. To help with this, we try to encourage kids to bring their own lunches. It makes things faster. It's more cost effective for you guys. And it makes it so we can stay as a group. We know where everybody is. We're going to be eating lunch at that same meeting spot where the kids will meet all their coaches just above the new NAC building that's going to be going in, and hopefully we'll be done by next year. Snacks are great. As a coach, I love when kids have snacks because I usually get some. So line their pockets. Let's get me fat this year. Let's see what we can do. Storage. We're going to have storage bins for kids this year. Last year we had a tarp. I hated it. We're moving away from that. We're gonna be a little more professional with how we're displaying ourselves and increasing our public image as well. So we're gonna have storage bins. We don't have a location that we're gonna keep those at yet, but we do have multiple options. We're just waiting to hear from the resort for where those will be kept at. But as soon as we know, like everything else, I will get you as much information as I can, as soon as I can. Our lost rider protocol.
All right. If you, as an athlete, are lost, and again, this will be all gone over with riders multiple times throughout the season, but for lost rider protocol, so everyone knows, stop, wait at the bottom of the last lift you rode. If you were going to a different lift, wait at the bottom of that lift if you can. Coaches have been instructed to call myself, Rick, or Sam and tell us what's going on. That is, if any riders can get in contact with us, what would be really great. Sports Engine is an awesome way to do that. Even if your rider is communicating with you that they're lost, the coach will be on it. This is something that happens. And yeah, we just do the best we can to work through it. And yeah, in my 12 plus years with the team, I don't think we've ever had somebody that's truly lost and hasn't been picked up within a run or 10-15 minutes.
Yep. And that's where we put lost into quotes, because for the athlete perspective, they certainly feel like they're lost or missing or lost their group. For us, we've got procedures in place. So we talk to our staff a lot about how do we manage our groups, what are safe stopping points, and how do we eliminate this possibility in the first place. As I'm seeing it, I'm sorry for the typos. My bad. I should have for this 1,000th time. Beyond that, we also wanted to share like what we do, what we tell our coaches, so that way you guys know that we do have a plan. It's not just, oh well, we're gonna figure it out. The single most useful thing, now that it seems like everyone has a cell phone, if your rider has a friend in the group and gets their number, that way there can be a direct line right there. They can call and talk to each other, and we'll move right along and figure out exactly where they are and how we can link up. We got some important dates coming up regarding Park City Mountain programming, as well as just programming in general. We got a team night coming up at Woodward. That's going to be our meet and greet for our staff. I've got an RSVP that's going to be going out to our staff, so I know who to expect there. I'm happy to send one out to you guys as well. hopefully we see you guys and everyone else who couldn't make it on this call at that. That is December 1st, which is a Thursday, and that is from 6 to 8. We're going to be at the upstairs part of Woodward. Come get to spend some time with us, get to know us, and let's see how we can get the season started right. Immediately following that Thursday, we've got our first day on hill.
In addition to that, what Sam said on that Thursday, that'll be a great opportunity for your rider to meet other riders in their group and their coach. Likely will every rider be there? Probably not, but really awesome opportunity to start making connections before we're on some of the first day. Following into that, we've got December 3rd, first day on hill. Looks like we've probably got a pretty good one coming in this year for anyone who was here last year. We were a bit worse for wears in terms of snow conditions, and things are looking great right now. Following that, the beginning of our holiday break is December 3rd. Then on December 31st, we will resume programming. March 25th is our last Saturday of programming. And then March 30th is the last day of midweek programming.
All right, now that we talked Park City, let's get into some Woodward details here. As you notice, our little checklist here is a little smaller. Meeting location, we're always going to meet out in that main plaza just outside the building. We're going to try to be out there 10 minutes before 4. Woodward's pretty straightforward. There's one lift, it's up and down. Pretty easy to figure out. But just to have some group organization, make sure we're heading out at 4 o'clock. If you can be there 10, 15 minutes earlier, that helps us get rolling right out of the gate. Being late here, this is a little bit less concerning of an issue. If you're late, cool, go link up with your group, wait at the bottom of the chair. As they come through, it might be a 10-minute lap. They'll pick you up and get you guys linked up from there. Communicate that way I can relay the information to the appropriate coach they know to be looking for, who they're probably already looking for, at the bottom of the chair. Lunch and lost rider procedure. Going into this, not really a need for lunch here if you're on the national team, as I said before. A little different of a story since we are there all day. Snacks are always good to have. Throw them in your bag. And we got the chat. What do we got?
Now we'll handle chats after we are done.
All right, we'll pop into the chat after. Snacks are always good to have. We store our bags inside. It saves you money. Candy bars are like $5 there now. I feel like they go up every time I'm there. If you are lost, it's pretty impressive that you were able to do that. Like I said, there's one chair there, up and down. We'll find you. Just make sure you hang out at the bottom of the chair. We'll get you linked up. Let me pop back here. Important dates for Woodward. We've got team night coming up again. We're gonna do a meet and greet for our Saturday coach groups primarily. Just to help that first day on hill. We've got about 70 riders on Saturday. The other days are going to be smaller groups, so it's going to be a little bit easier to manage and sort through. First day on hill for Woodward programming is December 6th. Again, we start our holiday break December 23rd. We resume programming that coming Saturday, December 31st, and then we're going to be running through the end of March. We're going to be on every weekend. We're not going to take breaks for any other holidays that come up between there. We just take that holiday break off. Volunteering, this is a big one. As a part of your registration, you paid a $250 work deposit. If you're looking to get that $250 back, we've got a few volunteer options that we're going to be talking about throughout the season. We've got a few contests that we can always use volunteers for. All of that information is going to be on our website. I'll get it to you as soon as we have schedules lined up to make sure we know exactly how many volunteers we need for each event. It's a really simple process. I'll go ahead and put this into an email for you as well. Just so that way we've got more of a walkthrough here rather than just these steps. I'll go ahead and do a screen share of me clicking through and get that to you. That's not a super important thing at this point of the season, but as we get into the season, if you are looking to cash in on that $250 and get that back, we'll give you all the tools you need to get that done. Big dates coming up, and then we'll get into chat questions. So if you guys want to start filling that chat with some questions, we can start working on those right away. Park City opens tomorrow. This is the first time in at least the 10 years that I can think of that I've been here, that the mountain's actually opening early. I can't think of another time. So That's awesome. We've got our PCSS annual meeting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. You all should have gotten a link from that. Season kickoff, that's our December 1st date at Woodward Park City. And we've got programs starting on December 3rd. Holiday break again, December 23rd to the 30th. Let me hop in here. Will coaches be consistent on Tuesday and Thursday? Pops is apparently typing a message.
Harry's very specific.
In general, so our staff, unfortunately, it's really hard to get full-time coaches. Even in a full-time schedule, it ends up only being about 30 hours a week. We have coaches that will be consistent. So if it's a Tuesday coach, that's going to be their Tuesday coach every Tuesday. If it's a Thursday coach, they're going to be a Thursday coach every Thursday. As far as consistency from Tuesday to a Thursday, I can't promise that. I do try to build groups out in a way that the kids are going to have exposure to the same coach as consistently as possible. I think those relationships are super important, not only in their development as an athlete, but also it gives them an opportunity to work with one person and hear consistent voice, consistent verbiage, and continue to have someone that they know that they can rely on to be there and be present for them.
Any other questions? If you want to raise your hand in the chat, feel free or type something in.
Or if you want to unmute yourself and just ask a question, you can do that too. We can, I don't know, how do I control that? Sorry, Zooming is. Do we do team jackets? We have jackets for our staff. We do not have jackets for our athletes. Historically, we found that it ends up being a greater expense than kids that actually buy them. We do have team hoodies. I just got a final design on those that we're really excited for. We're hoping, we're like 95% sure that we're going to have those for December 1st. So we'll have that at that team meet and greet. So meet your coach for Saturday, get set up with a new team sweatshirt. We are going to have a parent order as well, or family order, we'll call it. So that way, if you guys do decide that you want to get a sweatshirt as well, we will get an order placed for that. It's usually a couple weeks before we can get them. When I say a couple, I mean like 4 to 5, depending on how much work our boy has to do for the rest of his job. But we try to get those to you as soon as possible. When are groups coming out?
Already got it.
Pops is saying Thursday, December 1st, and that is a very safe answer. I have an idea right now, but it is just an idea. There's a lot of time still that we could have people sign up that could shift and modify that. But things will absolutely be locked in December 1st. Anybody else?
Yeah. Hi.
All right. Any other questions? Thanks everybody for sitting down and listening. And yeah, looking forward to a really great season. We've had meetings with the park staff at Park City, and we're really excited about what they're going to be bringing to the table. Sounds like we will have a 13-foot mini pipe in the park this year, as well as the 18-foot pipe. Sam, do you want to grab that question?
So the question is, are we going to have the same coaches? That changes from day to day. So we said like what their schedules are determines that, but if you're signing up for a Saturday program, we will make sure that you have the same coach on every Saturday. So we try to set up groups where, cool, this is, let's say Pops' group is always going to be the same 5 kids. So that's going to be every Saturday. That schedule may change based on registrations for who's going in for, let's say, Tuesday. So Pops may have a different set of kids on Tuesday, may have a different set of kids on Thursday. But from a week-to-week basis, if you're set up for Saturday, we're going to have the same coach every Saturday.
I'm answering Christine.
Teammates as last year. We're always having new kids join. We're always having some people in, some people out. It's hard to predict. As a whole, we're a team of over 100 riders right now. As far as the same groups as last year. Pops, you were not muted. We are going to fill groups as we see fits best for everyone. We have a really good understanding of how these kids ride and how they operate. We try to pair people best we can. And things are always going to be flexible and fluid. We will always try to keep groups limited in size. And we will do our best to make sure that you've got a fun, supportive team to work with. Scrolling back up just to make sure that I'm not skipping anybody. Are there any camps during the break? That is a great question. That's something that I've talked about with Pops, with Rick, and we were trying to find staffing available to have a camp during the break. If we do find staff available for that, we'll try to accommodate that and get a camp going. Until we have something solidified, I can't say yes to that yet, but I would like to have another holiday camp.
Is there a half pipe coach?
We have Rick Shimpano as our half pipe coach. So Pops, how much time do you spend on the half pipe?
I can kind of shed more light onto this. We, between our staff members, Rick Shimpano just got done coaching half pipe for the U.S. snowboard team. I've stood at the top of a lot of nationals half pipe contests and had riders get medals, as has Sam, as have multiple other of our coaches. We do not have a dedicated half pipe coach. That being said, everybody on our staff is experienced in at least a fundamental level of half pipe and what we need to do to get kids to and beyond the lip.
A big thing that we run into is scheduling with half pipe for Woodward. So Woodward typically closes their half pipe around 4:30 or 5. That makes our evening programming really hard to utilize that time. That's where we try to ensure that everyone is there. That is something that we've talked to them about to see if we can change that as we get better daylight as the season goes on. We will be having a 13-foot
pipe at Park City. In addition to having anything there, so we'll have a lot of opportunity to ride half pipe once we're at the resort.
Yep, Saturday and Sunday for young riders looking to get into the pipe are amazing days, and honestly, for any rider that's looking to get into it or even is starting to air out and is looking to add skills.
Oh, I'm muted.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so sorry.
Saturday and Sunday are two awesome pipe days at the resort, and developmentally speaking, we don't really need the 22 until riders. Oh, I got muted again.
All right, keep muting.
Okay, Sam muted me again.
It's echoing.
Oh,
So just, yeah.
gotcha.
Okay, so yeah, the resort, awesome for learning how to ride half pipe and progressing all the way up through 540s and 720s. And then once you're at that point, more time in the 22 at Woodward is necessary. However, between having a 13-foot, 18-foot, and 22-foot pipe in Park City, we are probably best equipped in the country outside of Aspen and Mammoth to have people progress in the half pipe. I believe only Aspen and Mammoth have the progression we do in terms of 13, 18, and 22 in their regions.
Hey guys,
from a staffing perspective, I don't know a single staff member who doesn't want to spend more time in the half pipe. So if we can vocalize that with our staff, as from athletes to our coaches, I know they're all down to get in there.
yeah, hey guys, can I
Any
jump
other
in? Can you
questions?
hear me? No? Okay.
As far as I saw something about getting a copy of this. Yes, you will be getting a video link to this. We're going to post this on our YouTube. So that way you guys can go through and find it. And I'm happy to get you a PDF version of it as well. Going back through here, I'm trying to think, did I miss any other questions in here? I'm getting a lot of emojis.
We're pretty locked along.
Anything else? Does anybody have anything else? I got a text saying that someone wants to ask a question. Oh, Rick is trying to talk. Rick, get in here, bud. Where you at?
Do you guys have me muted? Am I muted?
Let me find you. How do I find you?
It should be on, should be able to unmute yourself.
Oh, I think
Can
you're
you hear
good, Rick.
me? Oh, you can, Jamie can hear me. Hey,
Oh,
I'm fascinated. And by the way, I'm feeling way better. I got wiped out by that little flu bug. So that's why Sam and Pops are handling this. But I am pretty excited for the energy coming into this thing and also for the half pipe thing. So and I want to put the ball back in your guys' court. I mean, if that's something that you guys are interested in, it's something you want more of, then speak up and let's figure it out. I've talked to Sam and Pops a bunch about whether we do like a clinic. Maybe every Saturday there's an hour and a half clinic where I post up at the pipe and stuff like that. So we are into it, and if we know that you're into it, then we're gonna make that happen. So let's keep that good energy moving forward. And I want to give it up for Sam and Pops for putting this thing together and doing such an awesome job. And we're really looking forward to being on snow with you guys.
I heard part of that. I didn't hear much of it. For some reason, my computer is not doing great. And Pops' phone is doing the same thing. If you didn't hear, Rick wants to do half-pipe clinics. So let's talk about it. Let's try to organize it and see what we can get going. Like I said, I know all of our coaches love spending time in the half-pipe. It's fantastic. Like, I don't know anybody who doesn't like to ride transition. So if we can get more kids in there, let's do what we can to make it happen. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts? Oh, I got a message. We need more pipe riders. I absolutely agree. I'm stoked. I had a few kids last year really kind of show up at nationals despite limited time in the pipe, and they did pretty great. So if we can get more kids in there competing, I love it. I want to do a hand plant. Also, if you've made it, hold on. If you've made it to the Bone Zone, if you've been out snowboarding already, I'm super jealous. I've not found or made the time to make that happen yet. But I'd love to see how many clips we're having of people out there that are getting through and doing things.
Hey guys, it's Gideon.
Any other questions? If not, we can let you guys roll.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
And appreciate you guys popping in here. Like I said, I can get you a PDF form of this, as well as getting you a link to the video. Apparently Gideon's trying to talk. Gideon, are you trying to talk? Give me a thumbs up. I can't tell. Okay.
I didn't know if you could hear me. Hey, it's Gideon, Caston, Bowden, and Hannah, and I'm
All
saying,
right. My
Oh.
computer is not letting me hear anything.
I think everybody else can
So
hear me.
I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off, but if you could type it into the chat, that would be super beneficial because my
I
computer
think
is
we
not
can hear
working.
me. Anyways, I just wanted to say we're excited about team this year and hanging out with the parents and chilling. We're gonna have a great time. So we're all excited to be a part
I
of
can
it.
see hand motions.
Thanks,
I've got
guys.
zero audio. He says that he's excited about team. Thank you, Jenna, for being my scribe and texting me what people are saying. I'm glad that everybody else can hear Gideon. I'm sorry that I can't hear you. We can hop on a call later if there's anything you need. Awesome. Is there anything else that we can do that we can offer you? I've got one more slide that we can pop into. Oh my gosh, I've been screen sharing this whole time and you guys haven't seen our interactions. I'm so sorry. We're new to this. Technology's hard. Let me stop screen sharing. If you guys need our contact info, we've got you right here. Rick's top, Pops in the middle, I'm at the bottom there. And then we've got our teamgram on there as well. If that's all, we'll let you guys get out there and enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you guys so much. Please reach out with any questions. We're here to help you guys have a successful season. So if there's anything that we can do, we'd love to help. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.